Alright, welcome back to the garage, everyone. It's time to do an oil change on the old 5.9 Cummins in the RV. And there's the oil filter. Where's my finger? Right there. There it is. There's my oil filter. And looks like we've got a little seepage right there on that, what appears to be that looks like the oil return from the turbo, if I had to take a stab at that. Am I a Cummins 5.9 ISB expert? No, I am not. But anyway, so that oil return line leading back to the crankcase looks like it's seeping a little bit. That may be a repair. I wonder if that's a repair. Well, we'll worry about it later. And we have some seepage right here at the back of the oil pan. I checked that, the oil is at the proper level, so no issues there. But at some point, I may want to look at doing some service on that seal bag. That's either an oil pan gasket or maybe it's a rear main. Hopefully it's not a rear main. I see the dirt daubers have been quite busy indeed. That's pretty interesting. I read online where this is a 22 millimeter. Of course it's not. Silly me, in the internet, believing the internet. All right, let me go get the right size. So I'm going to bring several with me and see how well that works out. All right, we've got our 17 millimeter here. I didn't know which one it was. I brought several wrenches with me, so get a little hammer on that and tap that loose with the other hand. And let's start draining some oil out of our 5.9. All right, we're draining 20 quarts I hear this thing holds. So the little hole in my oil receptacle is a little small. So I'm going to get kind of nasty here and sort of, come on, get back, there we go. And let that drain on in there. Yep, it's draining. It's draining slowly. And once we fill this one up, this holds 15, and that one holds about 5 or 6, so that should give us enough room to hold all this oil from our Cummins. So I know this is kind of a hack way to do things, but it'll work. It'll be okay. Biggest tragedy is I get oil on my hand. Any day now. And that's our new oil over there. I got two, I think that's 2 5-gallon. It's enough. I forget what the quantity is over there, but it's 20 quarts at least. So we're going to be using Delo, Chevron Delo, good old-fashioned heavy-duty diesel oil 15W40 in our Cummins. Oh, we're starting to get a little full there. Let's taper off the flow here. That may be all she wrote for this container. If it doesn't all drain into there, I'll be switching over to the smaller one. I probably shouldn't have been so cheap, and I probably should have bought a bigger container, but hey, oh well. All right, oil filters next. Up next, we got a Lisle oil filter removal tool. I like Lisle products, made in USA. It's really nice. Fits on the end of your ratchet, and this sort of butterfly affair, you can see it's spring-loaded and expands out to fit lots of different size filters. So that's what we're going to use to get this guy off. And it is right up there. Looks like from the label, a Napa Gold 7182. So I purchased the Wix equivalent, so that's what we'll be installing today. All right, I'm going to need 2 hands to get that out of there. I'll be back with you shortly. All right, a little bit of a faff to get that up in there. On that filter, I had to use 2 hands to spread it apart. But once I got it, there we go. I'm using 1 hand. It's starting to loosen up there. There we go. It's a good tool. I like this oil filter wrench. I just bought it today, so it's going to go in my toolbox forever and forevermore. All right, you always remember to put oil in your filter, and put some oil on your, where are we going? There, we're going way up there. So yeah, I put oil in my filter, and I have, make sure I didn't get any gunk on my gasket there. Yeah, we're good to go. So I got oil on my gasket, and I got a lot of interference on the way up. I keep bumping into stuff. I'm paranoid. Make sure I didn't get any dirt on my filter. That and the spider webs are just really being very annoying. So I'm going to snake this up through there. There we go. Well, getting it started shouldn't be all that. Come on, you can do it. Got to line it up, Harris. Everybody's watching. You know, it would be funny if this wasn't the right thread. Now, I just did my research online, and it said this was the equivalent filter, but I'm gonna check it. Let me pull it back down there. I'll be right back. All right, yeah, it's the right filter. I just had to do a sanity check. I finally got it in the correct orientation to get it tightened up there. Normally I do these hand tight, and look at that. I have some friends with me today. I think those spider webs have been there for a long time. I don't think they're active. Let's hope. Let's hope not. All right, let's see. Yeah, my shoulder was screwed up for a while. I would not have been able to do this a while back, so I better not overdo it. I've got that fairly tight with my hand, and we're going to give it a once-over with the oil filter wrench. So, all right, let me do that. I'm going to give that about a quarter of a turn with the oil filter wrench. Then we're going to go up top and fill up our engine crankcase with brand new, fresh Chevron Delo. All right, so closer examination. Clearly this oil filter wrench is for removal only. Spring-loaded, and if you try to loosen with it, it tightens its grip, but if you try to put something on, it expands. So I should have known by looking at it, but I just wasn't thinking. I just got it out of the package just right before I started to use it. But I got the oil filter on there tight by hand, and I was able to get a really good grip on it. And that's typically how I do, oil filters anyway, just by hand. So, and I've never had a problem with it. But this being the first time I've ever changed the oil in a 5.9's Cummins, I'll keep an eye on it to make sure it doesn't leak. And if it does, I'll cinch down on it a little more with a strap wrench that I've got in the shop. But for now, let's go ahead and get some engine oil in our 5.9. All right, if this succeeds, it will be a very good thing indeed. You may recall seeing this pump here, this little battery operated pump in use during the diesel fuel tank cleaning project on the old Mercedes. But I'm going to see if it'll pump engine oil. I know it's generally for gasoline and diesel fuel, but I'm going to ask it to step up to the plate today, and let's just see what happens. It probably won't work. Yeah, that's just too much for it. It won't. Let's see. Let me raise it up some. Oh, that's pretty comical. But you know what? I'm just going to let it do its thing. I guess it had to prime itself a little bit there. And we're just going to see what happens with this. If I burn the motor up, so be it. Or if I drain the batteries, I'll change them out. Do 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 do. Do I'll probably get a copyright infringement for that. Okay. Let's see what we're doing here. What are we doing? It's trickling over the edge there, I guess. It's not filling it up because it's reached the corner. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to walk away. Walk away. I think I'll go have a sandwich. I'll be back in half an hour after the batteries are dead. All right, we're all done. Okay, well, my clever little plan to extract the oil with the dinky little pump failed miserably. I think maybe I got 2 quarts after running that thing 30 or 40 minutes. The pump just simply is not strong enough. They do make oil extraction, or proper oil extraction pumps, but I don't have one here today, and I'm not going to go off and go buy one. So we just did it the old-fashioned way. Clearly you can see that the top of the engine bay is right up there. So pouring oil from a large container is out of the question. You could stand back from the RV and with a long pipe and a funnel and everything, and I actually tried that. Had my helper out here, and we gave that a shot as well, but ultimately it was just too much of a pain. So we simply decided to take a donor 1 quart oil container and then pour oil into that container out of the 2.5 gallon jug, and then take the small quart container and then fill up the RV that way. And it took a while, but it worked out okay. I couldn't find the oil, or at least locally I couldn't find the oil in 1 quart size containers. I could only find, say, you know, the 2 gallon container or the 2.5 gallon container. Well, anyway, we just poured it into a quart bottle one at a time, and then reused that bottle and filled the crankcase in that fashion, and that worked out okay. We did spill a little bit, though. We got a little rambunctious there a moment, and so I had to wash down the engine bay because we got a little messy. Got the oil topped off. We cranked it up and let it run for a few minutes, and then we shut it down. We checked it again. Had to add a couple of quarts. When you got nearly 20 quarts of oil in an engine, 1 or 2 quarts down is it's not a huge deal. So we got the oil level up to the proper full mark, and there you go. So all in all, I'd say the oil change on our old diesel pusher here, is not really that bad. But draining the oil and replacing the oil filter, it's just like any other vehicle. You crawl up underneath there and get it done. But filling, that's another story. That is kind of problematic. So if you can find the oil in quart-sized bottles, do that. That works out a lot better. Otherwise, just take a donor empty quart bottle and and use that and fill it each time and fill the crankcase that way. So, all right, folks, that's all for now. Appreciate you guys stopping by the channel. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you'd like to be notified whenever I release a new video. Don't forget to click that little bell down below. You guys have a good one, and remember to enjoy driving your classic motorhome.